It is several days later since I recorded the manure tank stuff. That steel has been a progress to get. We went through Queen City. They didn't have the one we wanted, the size. They also didn't want to order it because they would have to get a full 24-foot pipe and we would only need like a foot of it. And then so we couldn't get it there. So we ended up going up to Canada. What place is it in Canada?
It's a special, I don't know, I just know the guy's name, so.
So it's a place up in Canada.
It only takes about half an hour to get to it.
So 30 minutes from us. Christoph doesn't remember the name of the company, but they're a really big steel plant too, and they were able to order us a foot of that steel. So that's good, that should be here tomorrow. And then you see the feed tractors back together. All fun and dandy, except for now we're gonna tear it right back apart. There is a lot of anger. See, I think if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see we pulled the tie rod off this and the tire because we had to put that on the other tractor. So we were waiting for the part. If you look right here, this is really shiny. This should not be shiny. The reason that's shiny is because when we had it running and we were testing to make sure everything was good, the front tire was spinning. And that's where the jack stand's sitting. That was all the front end weight on it, so we did jack it up a little bit on this, so it's actually not on it anymore. We're trying to figure out why the hell is the four-wheel drive on. I was chasing wires, power tested the solenoids. Turns out it's internal.
Must be. So.
Yeah, all the power components are working correctly. So we're gonna split it again in the exact same spot we just had it because something's wrong inside. O-ring, seal, something. Christoph probably screwed up.
Maybe, I don't know. It's just pissing me off.
This is so dumb. So dumb. So we're on the third time splitting this. We literally were ready. I had the seat in there already. Like this was in there. We were literally just gonna get the tie rod, put the tire back on, and it was gonna be ready to go feed. One thing I have to show. Where's the light? Can I have that for a second? So, what we did do, we should have done this 5 years ago. But you can see right in here. So this is the shifting linkage. This is your first, second, third, and fourth gear. And then this is your shuttle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See how it's working really nice? About 4 hours ago, you could take these linkages and you could move them a lot. So we welded a nut on the side right here. You see that's flat. You're supposed to be able to open it with a screwdriver somehow, but
no, it's a special tool.
A special tool? Okay. Yeah. And there's also like a little dowel right there. But right there. But that was never in there to stop it from spinning. But that thing was so seized that with a pry bar that held in there tight, it was not moving. So we welded a big nut on it. And with the heat, we had to instantly cool it so it didn't melt these rubber bushings. And then we were able to unscrew it. And we put in a new washer right there. 2 washers in the center. And then an extra washer on the outside. And then we tightened it right back down. And it just, everything's good. Like, you cannot lock this. Because before, you see how right down there it's nice and tight. Before, you could push it over and you could actually see how it wedges. You could get it right in there, but you'd have like probably a 1/4 inch of gap sometimes, and it would just pop out of gear when you tried shifting. Plus, we took both of these off, these right here, and I welded the end square because they were rounded, about an 1/8 inch rounded on both sides of each one. So it was just really thin on the ends from 29,000 hours worth of shifting. So this is actually really tight. So the only about productive thing we managed today, we're splitting it again, is the shifting works great. But we're gonna pull it back apart. I'm not gonna record that because I already did. And maybe the next thing you'll see is why it's broken still. So to get the fuel out, just put well, normally we have the hose on here to pump it back in. Now we're pulling it back out. Put the pipe all the way to the bottom. Put a towel around the end and blow some compressed air in there until it starts siphoning, and it'll pump itself out. Don't really gotta do anything. Christoph's pulling brake lines, and now I gotta go. We gotta pull all the oil, and I gotta pull all the top. So yeah, about 60 minutes. She'll be opened back up. And I gotta pull this ladder off and back. Well, we got it split for the third time within the same week. Hasn't got out of the shop yet, but so we got we power tested the solenoid. It's clicking and everything. I pulled it off. The magnet works fine, so it's not that. We pulled off the clutch pack, and right when it goes in at the bottom, this is the four-wheel drive clutch pack. We thought the O-ring would be bad. It's not. So now we're pulling off the last piece because there's a pipe that feeds the oil to it. Maybe by chance we put it on wrong, and honestly, we're just really pissed off and don't know why the hell four-wheel drive is staying on. Because four-wheel drives are on until the pressure's turned off electronically. So the solenoid, if you lose the fuse or anything, the four-wheel drive's always on. When you hit the four-wheel drive switch, it actually puts power to it, and then it turns the solenoid on, and that cuts the oil. Now the differential lock is the opposite, where it's always off until it's powered on. It's kind of just like a safety feature almost in a way. But yeah, that's how the four-wheel drive is powered. And I think that's almost on all tractors.
Yeah.
That Agco, Case, Deere, it's always like that. Four-wheel drive is on. So if your four-wheel drive solenoid blows, you're stuck in four-wheel drive. So that's why we thought it was the solenoid first, but it wasn't that. So this right here is a custom homemade plate to pull this panel, this bracket off, because otherwise you ain't getting it.
Holy shit. Is it coming?
Nope. I feel like you forgot something.
No. I didn't come last night either until I took a punch.
But when you pull this on the side right here, you get it right behind this. You gotta pull those two covers off, and then there's a bunch of springs and little balls you gotta pull out with a mini magnet. But you could see that plate right there was starting to bend. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, that is a homemade.
Oh, yep.
That's 1/4-inch steel. He actually drilled into that bolt right there so the pulley does not fall off. And we use this red gasket. She's on there.
Oh, she came. At least it's out there.
Yep. See that pop?
Now she'll come. I should clean this fucking mess up. I just want to throw it apart.
There's a lot of anger going on right now with everybody because this is the third time in the same week. And the tractor hasn't left the shop, like I said. So it's pretty ridiculous. Because we have other tractors. We want to take in. Well, we got it apart, and we're stopping anyways for today. But I did just pressure test the clutch pack here. All you do is, where the oil goes in, you just push it with air, and then you can see. You see that move? That means it's separating, and you didn't hear any air leaking. So that seal internally is still good. So it's not like when we took the 200's PTO out. It's kind of the similar concept. When you test it, you just pressurize the where the oil goes in to push it apart, and if the seal's bad, it's pissing oil out. And that one was pissing all the air out. This one's still good, so that's not the issue. But we're done for today anyways because, well, it's late. But I think this will be the end of the video. So basically, Thanks for watching, and we'll see how this ends up going.